Hey, I'm Draven. I typically make high gain amp demos here on YouTube, and today we're going to be checking out the new Mixwave Lorna kit. I will be putting this video down as a sponsored video since Mixwave did give me this plugin, but they didn't pay me to make this video or anything, or even specifically ask me to make a video. Yeah. So we'll go through a little demo that I use the drums on, and then we'll go through and check out what all I did with them in order for them to fit in the mix and all that kind of stuff. And as well as I'll show you guys a couple of the drum options that they threw into the kit and all that. And yeah, that's about it. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I have some affiliate links down in the description where if you pick something up, it helps me out a ton. And yeah, let's check out the Mixwave Lorna kit. Alright, so with this mix, I kept the drums relatively simple, like mix-wise. I try not to do too much like processing and stuff like that to kits that I'm showing off, so you're actually getting the sound that kind of comes with it and not what I have curated, you know. But I did do a few things that take a little bit of extra work just to get it sounding right in this context, which I'll show you exactly what I did. And yeah, let's take a listen to what the drums sound like by themselves. So I feel like in general these have a slightly like scooped sound to them, kind of like colder sounding, which is pretty cool to work with the lower tunings and stuff like that. Gives you a lot more space for guitars and all that. So for the mix of this, I did my usual parallel compression and limiting on the drum bus. Pretty much always do that, it just kind of works. And then I blended a few extra samples in just to get it sounding how I wanted it to. So the first snare that I used is this like kind of slightly lower tuned snare. Still has some ring to it, and which I really enjoy, snares with like ringy, weird noises to them. But I wanted some of the really hard attack and high-pitched ring that you get from smaller snare drums. So I just put in a second instance of the plugin and chose a smaller snare from the selection, which is much higher tuned, just to blend those. I don't know why, but in a lot of my mixes, I feel like having that extra snare in there really just like, whether it be it adds a lot of character or just helps it cut through better. I feel like it's really important to the mixes that I do. And then with the kick drums, I felt like they were just a little too like stiff and like scooped and stuff like that. So what I ended up doing was using the Mixwave J Weinberg kick drum just to blend that in a little bit. Just to add some like mid-range to the kick drum and like some like room noise really. And that's about all I did for the mix. I think I started off with the backwoods template. I don't think I touched any of the like faders. Yeah, I left everything to how it was and I just blended in some extra samples to reinforce what I was looking for. But yeah, this kit doesn't come with too much. I think. Okay, so there is some extra cymbals. So we've got a trash 18-inch and a dual 18-inch china on the left. Two chinas again on the right side. Different splashes. I like that one. That one's also cool. And just one on that one. It's cool that it came with darker hi-hats. I tend to lean towards them a lot more. Looks like all the toms are just the one tom each, and each kick drum is just the one. And then it comes with a good couple of snares, which is, in my opinion, a really important thing with a drum set plug-in. My dog just farted. Okay. So I feel like having different snares in these kits is really important due to most of the time the snare drum, when you're working on different songs, a lot of the time the snare drum is what's gonna need to be changed. So, you know, if it's like a super low tune song, you're probably gonna want a low tune snare. But if you're playing like funk music or something, which I don't know why you'd be using this kit for that, but if you did want that, you would use probably a lot smaller and higher tuned snare for it. But so for the snare options, we have a Tama Bell Brass 14 by 6.5, pretty high tuned. Tama Brass JT snare 14 by 7, like a good mid-range snare. A Malficium snare 14 by 8, which is I guess from their Malficium album. Big snare, tuned pretty high. Backwoods snare 14 by 7.5, tuned a bit lower. And a Tama SLP Dynamic Bronze snare, which is a 14 by 4.5, which is like a pretty standard size for a snare, which they tuned up pretty high. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.